Assalamu alaikum, this is Maria Zulfikar welcoming you all to the English news from BTV Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Myanmar, Tom Andrews, calls on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus. Direct flights between Pakistan and Bangladesh to be launched very soon, says Pakistan's Commerce Minister Jam Kamal Khan. Government to provide free typhoid vaccines to 4.89 crore children and adolescents aged 9 months to 15 years. Road safety can't be ensured due to incompetent drivers, negligence of traffic rules and careless pedestrians. UN-backed food security body confirms famine in Gaza City and surrounding area. And Bangladesh suffered 2-0 defeat to India in SAF Under-17 Women's Championship at Changnimithang Stadium in Thimphu. Viewers, those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. The Special Rapporteur on the Situation of Human Rights in Myanmar, Tom Andrews, called on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at the latter's office on Thursday. The UN envoy lauded the leadership of the Chief Advisor for keeping the Rohingya issue at the forefront of the international agenda, said a press release issued by the Chief Advisor's press wing today. Andrews recalled the successful initiative of the Chief Advisor to convene a UN International Conference on the Rohingyas, which will be held on 30th September at the UN headquarters in New York. The world is grateful to Bangladesh for its generosity to host and support the Rohingyas and to you for keeping the hope of a lasting solution alive, said Andrews. The Chief Advisor expressed the hope that the UN conference will provide concrete pathways to the resolution of the prolonged crisis. He said that the recent cut in financial support to the Rohingyas sheltered in Bangladesh is taking its toll on the provision of essential services, including health and education. Professor Yunus requested Andrews to continue his efforts in ensuring the availability of adequate funding. Andrews praised Bangladesh's engagement with different stakeholders in order to resolve the crisis. He expressed disappointment that the UN Secretary General's promising initiative to establish a humanitarian channel to stabilize Rakhine and create conditions for Rohingya to return fell victim to malicious propaganda. Despite this setback, Andrews expressed optimism that continued efforts by the relevant stakeholders can find an early and durable solution and urged Bangladesh to continue its leadership role to this end. Andrews is visiting Bangladesh to attend the stakeholders' dialogue on the Rohingya issue to be held in Cox's Bazar on August 25. The Chief Advisor is likely to inaugurate the event. Pakistan's Commerce Minister Jam Kamal Khan has announced that direct flights between Pakistan and Bangladesh will be launched very soon. Speaking at a meeting with business leaders in Agrabad Chattogram this afternoon, he said there are opportunities for joint work and investment between Bangladesh and Pakistan in sectors such as agriculture, trade, ICT, leather, and food processing. He added that on August 24, the two countries will sign a joint working group agreement. At the meeting, Commerce Advisor Sheikh Bashiruddin said Bangladesh and Pakistan have agreed to work together to boost bilateral trade. The discussion took place at the Chittagong Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where business leaders highlighted the various obstacles in Dhaka-Karachi cargo movement. The Pakistani Commerce Minister said that besides easing visa procedures and resuming shipping routes, both countries are working to enhance regional connectivity. He reaffirmed that a joint working group will be signed this month to expand trade relations. In fiscal year 2024, Pakistan exported goods worth $787 million to Bangladesh, while Bangladesh exported around $78 million worth of products to Pakistan. Against this backdrop, Jam Kamal Khan said that signing a free trade agreement between the two countries would help ensure trade balance and further boost cooperation in agriculture, education, health, and commerce. According to UNICEF, every year around 5,500 children under the age of 15 in Bangladesh die from typhoid fever. Among children under 5, on average 19 out of every 1,000 suffer from typhoid annually. In this context, the government has taken the initiative to provide free typhoid vaccines to 4 crore 89 lakh children and adolescents aged 9 months to 15 years. Experts say that this free vaccination program is a groundbreaking step that will reduce child and adolescent deaths. For the first time, the nationwide typhoid vaccination campaign will begin on October 12. To receive the vaccine free of cost, registration must be done online at www.vaxepi.gov.bd. Dr. S.M. Abdullah Al-Murad, line director at the Directorate General of Health Services, said that children aged 9 months to 15 years will be eligible. He also urged parents to complete online registration promptly to ensure their children receive the vaccine. Road safety cannot be guaranteed. At times, it is the incompetence of transport drivers or their disregard for traffic laws. At other times, it is the carelessness of pedestrians. These factors continue to keep the toll of road fatalities unceasing. This situation raises questions about the effectiveness of existing road safety plans. Are they failing to achieve their objectives, or are the authorities responsible for road management failing to respond adequately despite being fully aware of the risks? Traffic rule violations by drivers of various vehicles remain a major cause of road accidents in Dhaka. Authorities have struggled to control unruly drivers, while unfit vehicles and unlicensed operators continue to dominate the city's streets. Experts in urban planning stress that proper driver training and strict enforcement of traffic laws are crucial to reducing road crashes. Currently, around 4,000 traffic police personnel are on duty, carrying out regular operations against traffic violators. BNP's National Standing Committee member Professor Izzat Zahid Hussain has urged the chief advisor to announce an electoral roadmap. He made this remark today at a discussion titled "The Importance of National Parliamentary Elections in Ensuring Democracy and Human Rights," held at the National Press Club. The discussion was presided over by Professor Dr. Abdul Latif Masoom, chairman of the World Human Rights Organization, Bangladesh. Speakers at the event said that in the past 16 years, people's voting rights have been snatched away. They also remarked that there is no precedent in world history of such deprivation of democratic rights. Now, international news. Famine has been confirmed in Gaza City and its surrounding area for the first time. A UN-backed food security body says the IPC says more than 5 lakh people in the Strip are facing starvation, destitution and death, with catastrophic conditions projected to expand to Deir al-Balah and Khan Yunis next month. Israel's foreign ministry rejects the report, saying there is no famine in Gaza. UN Chief Antonio Guterres says the crisis is a man-made disaster, as he calls for unrestricted humanitarian access to Gaza. It comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his cabinet has approved plans for a new assault on Gaza City. The IDF says it has told doctors and aid workers to start making evacuation arrangements ahead of its expanded offensive. Israel does not allow international news organizations, including the BBC, into Gaza to report freely. Russia has launched its heaviest bombing on Ukraine in weeks. Ukrainian officials reported that Russian forces fired 574 drones and 40 missiles. However, Ukraine's Air Force stated that according to their count, Russia launched a total of 614 drones and other missiles overnight on Thursday, of which they intercepted 577. This marks Russia's largest aerial attack on Ukraine since July. The strike comes amid ongoing negotiations to end the war in Ukraine and increasing diplomatic pressure on Russia. One person was killed in a drone and missile strike on the western city of Lviv, while 15 others were reported wounded in an attack on the southwestern Transcarpathia region. More than 20 buildings were damaged, including a children's nursery and several residential homes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Moscow has shown no real intention of pursuing genuine negotiations to end the war. Vladimir Putin is demanding that Ukraine give up all of the eastern Donbas region, renounce ambitions to join NATO, remain neutral, and keep Western troops out of the country. Three sources familiar with top-level Kremlin thinking told Reuters. At least 18 people have been killed and dozens wounded in two separate attacks in Colombia, deepening the country's most serious security crisis in decades. 6 people died and more than 60 were injured after a car bomb exploded on a busy street in the western city of Cali in Colombia, according to authorities. Earlier on Thursday, a separate drone attack against a police helicopter killed at least 12 people in a rural area outside the northwestern city of Medellin. The attacks attributed to different dissident factions of the now defunct Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia FARC group pose fresh challenges to Colombia's fragile peace processes ahead of elections next year.